Across Britain today, thousands of volunteers are heading out with one simple mission: to clean up our country. From litter-strewn streets to illegal fly tipping, Reform UK says enough is enough. Over the next 90 minutes, we'll travel the country, meeting the people taking action, hearing from campaigners, councillors and communities determined to restore pride in Britain's towns and our cities. This is Reform, cleaning up Britain, and we're live. A very good morning and welcome to Reform's Cleaning Up Britain. I'm Charlie Rowley and we're live from the top of Millbank Tower here in Westminster. Today we'll be touring the country as thousands of volunteers, councillors and supporters take part in a nationwide day of action to tackle litter and fly tipping. Now, the campaign follows Reform UK's announcement of a package of proposals aimed at restoring civic pride, including tougher penalties for fly tipping, greater responsibility for businesses and an annual National Clean-Up Day. Throughout the programme, we'll be crossing live to teams working in communities right across Britain. We'll be joined by Reform UK's Deputy Leader Richard Tice, who's leading today's events in Boston, Lincolnshire. We'll also be visiting volunteers and councillors in Northamptonshire, Newark, Newcastle-under-Lyme, Solihull, Nuneaton and Portsmouth, and we'll be adding even more locations as they come online throughout the morning. So wherever you're watching from, we'd love for you to be part of today's programme. So if you're out litter picking, helping to clear up your local area or taking part in one of today's clean-up events, we'd love to see what you're doing. So take a photo or send a short video and post it on X using the hashtag #CleaningUpBritain. And throughout today's programme, we'll be sharing as many of your pictures as we can, celebrating the fantastic work being done by volunteers, community groups and local campaigners right across our great country. So whether you're filling in one bag or 50, every contribution makes a huge difference and we'd love to recognise your efforts live on air today. So grab your phone, share your photos using that hashtag #CleaningUpBritain and you might just see yourself featured on this programme before the end of today's big clean-up. Very exciting stuff. So let's find out more about why this campaign has been launched and the scale of the problem in Britain that we have today, whether Britain can once again become a country that people are proud to call home. I'm absolutely delighted throughout the morning to be joined by Ben Bradley, who is the director. Is that right?
Head of local government.
Head of local government. I got that right in rehearsal. Didn't quite nail it on this morning, but delighted to have you in the studio today. Thank you so much for joining us, Ben. Just very briefly, give us just a bit of an outline as to why today is so important.
Sure. Our councillors across the country are working really hard all the time, 2,500 of them nearly now, to work for their communities, to take that civic pride in the places that we now look after and represent, thousands of them out all over Britain, and today probably close to 1,000 of them demonstrating that ownership, right, of our places. It sometimes feels a little bit like, you know, perhaps some of that pride in our communities has disappeared, perhaps some of that responsibility for looking after the places that we live has disappeared. So we want to bring that back. And a few weeks ago we had a press conference with Richard Tice, with John Reid from Clean Up Britain, where we talked about the kind of scourge of litter, of fly tipping, of all the kinds of visible signs of decline across the country where, you know, it's not good enough. And we've got to take some action. We announced some policies at the time to increase fines and enforcement on fly tipping, to increase the penalties for chucking litter out of your windows on the highways, and of course to hold a regular National Action Day. So here we are.
Well, here we are. Indeed, the National Action Day, one of many, I'm sure, to come, but we've got one today. And one of those places taking part in today's National Clean-up that Ben was just talking about is Riversley Park in Nuneaton. Now, we see dozens of volunteers here. They've been out since the early morning, helping to make a real difference to their local community. I'm delighted to be joined now by George Finch, leader of Warwickshire County Council, who's been championing the idea of restoring civic pride through practical action. George, I see you there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Just tell us what's been happening there in Riversley Park this morning, how's the turnout been, and what have volunteers been able to achieve so far?
Well, good morning, Charlie. It's a lovely day in Nuneaton, in one of our best parks. We've got Riversley Park. Look how lovely it is. Look at the flowers. Yes, I am in shorts. I've got my litter picker, ignore the hair, but it's a good day so far. We've got about 20 activists just on the other side of the park, digging through the bushes, looking at the rivers, seeing if there's any green councillors in there, because they don't wash in regular showers, they only wash in the rivers, which contaminates them, and we don't want that. So we've been picking litter up, and do you know what? It's such a shame that parks like this, places like this, there's a lot of litter, even though there's bins everywhere. People just have lost respect for their local communities, and it's just about making sure that we've got a good sense of community spirit. Now, we've only been out for an hour or so now, but we've already found, oh, I'm walking backwards, look at these skills. Right, we've already found a few bits of litter. We've got 3 bags there. I don't know what that big, large black item is, but it just goes to show again that, look, cans of Fosters. People need to understand that this is the community that they live in, and they need to make sure they put respect into their communities. Look, I like to go out walking the dogs around the park, and I hate to see litter everywhere. People hate it. People pay their council tax to make sure that their areas are clean and tidy, and it's just a shame that there's a lot of communities, a lot of villages, a lot of towns that have just gone in the wrong direction so fast.
So just whilst we've got you there, George, by those 3 bags, have you collected all of that this morning? Has that been your team, or is that something that some other volunteers might have done that you're just adding to?
No, this is our team.
That local park there. Great stuff.
This is
Great
our
stuff.
team. We're not,
and how many people have you got with you today?
We're not like other. We've got about 20 people out today. We're not like other politicians that would have just bought these bags off eBay and had a photo next to them. We've actually collected this stuff. Proper community action. Look, there they are over there. You've got people in lovely turquoise high-vises, reform high-vises. Hey, look at that. There's only 3 of them over there. God, I can't count. Look, bags are full. It just goes to show that we're the only party that cares about cleaning our streets and cleaning up Britain, and it starts in parks like this, in town centres like this, making sure that we all have to put in a little bit into our communities to get a god-awful lot of support in this, and it's great to see we've got activists out today.
And just highlight to us how much this really does make a difference to your local community. So when you see a nice clean area, when you see a nice park that people can enjoy, everyone in the community can go and enjoy it, what difference does it make having cleaner streets, having graffiti off walls, having grime taken off highway signs, having litter picked off from the streets? How much of a difference does it really make? You're local, you're on the ground, you talk to local people all the time. What difference does it really make to people's lives?
Well, look, we have our Remembrance Sunday days here. We're a very proud town of our armed forces, and this is a major park where you see the veterans, the armed forces walk through every November, and it's such a shame that there's litter here, and we do take such pride in our parks, but it's a huge effort to keep doing this, and councils need to keep doing this, volunteers need to keep doing it. And when I was on stage with Richard Tice, it's about bringing together all of our community litter picks and bringing them all together as one team, so we can disperse them in a more regular setting, so we can actually take out a lot of these problems that we're seeing. My biggest pet peeve is road signs not being cleaned and vegetation overgrown. You can't see the signs. What's the point in having them? So that's something that we've done in Warwickshire County Council, and I know that other councils that we control are really taking on board with this, restoring our civic pride in our communities.
George, great stuff there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We might come back to you a bit later on, but you've got 3 bags full there and more bags being filled up, I can see in the background. So I'll let you get back to work. Thank you so much for this morning. George Finch there, doing some great stuff in Riversley Park there. Well, elections for this year may be over for now, but the work doesn't stop there. Reform UK has also been continuing to announce candidates ahead of next year's set of elections. Now, you might have seen already that the party confirmed the former Metropolitan Police Detective Colin Sutton will be standing as its candidate for Police and Crime Commissioner in Norfolk. Here's how he would change Norfolk's policing.
One of the most respected law enforcement officers of his generation. For 9 years, Colin Sutton.
Former detective Colin Sutton.
Colin Sutton
brought some of the UK's most notorious killers to justice.
Yeah.
I'm Colin Sutton. I'm the Reform UK Police and Crime Advisor, and I'm standing to be the Police and Crime Commissioner in Norfolk. I think people in Norfolk and people throughout the country are scared. They're fed up with how they're being treated with the policing they're getting. It seems that things that really matter to communities, things like antisocial behaviour, shoplifting, drunkenness, assaults, violence against women and girls, all these things are on the rise, and it seems to be difficult to have the police resources to deal with them in a timely fashion. I think I care about keeping people safe because it's what I've had a lifetime of doing. It's a chance for me to carry on making a contribution to making life better for the people in my community. And it's an opportunity that I'm not going to throw away. What we need to do is to focus our efforts and focus our resources on making sure that on the occasions when people do need help from the police, that they get it and that it's a good experience and they go on and tell their friends. It's interesting, when my son joined the police, which is about 12 years ago now, I say, look, you know, you see policing every day when you're a police officer. Most members of the public you meet only see it once in their lifetime. So you have one chance to make sure that they feel that the experience of policing was good and that it's memorable for the right reasons, you know, so don't waste it. We're only a quarter of a mile from the police station. Rarely see foot patrols here, even on market days, and this can be quite busy on a market day. And of course you've got the problem of shoplifting, you've got some drunkenness on a Friday and Saturday night. Question really of how safe people feel, and they don't feel safe because they don't have the visibility and the accessibility to their police officers. I spent my life tackling criminals and serious crime. I'm not a career politician, I'm a detective. Crime is not inevitable. With the right leadership, we can take our communities back. Vote Colin Sutton. Vote Reform UK.
Colin Sutton there. Now let's head north now to where today's clean-up is very much underway. Joining us live is Party Chairman for Reform UK, Lee Anderson, and the MP for Ashfield. Lee, it's great to have you with us. Tell us what you're seeing there this morning.
Well, we're seeing lots of enthusiastic Reform UK councillors and members and volunteers and members of the community that's come out to help us to do a bit of a clean-up. I've got Mick Barton here, old pit mate of mine. He's a council leader as well at Nottinghamshire County Council. He's out helping, as well as some brilliant Reform councillors and volunteers. So we're getting loads of rubbish, but it's twofold today, Charlie. What we're doing is we're litter picking, filling the bags up, talking to residents about local issues, and we're checking the potholes and the block drains and stuff like that. So this chap here, Mick Barton, he's got a lot of work to go away with, because hopefully we'll make a big list for him of all the improvements that are needed for the area, which is a county issue, and he'll go back and sort it out, won't you, Mick?
I will indeed, Lee, like always.
Like always, he says. So, yeah. No, what we have noticed is there is a lot of litter, and a lot of people always say, well, it's the council's job. Yes, it is the council's job, the local council's job, but it's everybody's job as well. We should all take pride in our community. We should all get out there when we can every weekend. It's something I've done as a councillor. I do it now as an MP. I think it just shows a little bit of pride in your area, Charlie. And you want to go, is that Ben Bradley somewhere in the studio? Where's he today? He should be out here picking some litter up. Where is he?
Oh, he's there, look.
Ben Bradley has very very kindly joined me in the studio to keep me company and to tell us all, people who are tuning in, people who are thinking about going out to do a litter pick like you and your great team behind you. We're going to motivate them to go out and do it as the show goes on. But I just want to ask you a quick question, Lee, because you talked about something really important there. It's not just about the litter pick and just doing a good clean-up job for your local area. It's about being visible and the community, and people come and talk to you about all kinds of other issues that are related to government and local government. So how important is it, that visibility? Because I can see some Reform UK shirts in the background.
Because we've been out this morning for an hour or so already. Yeah, we've been out for an hour or so already. We've already had residents come up to us and talk about local planning issues and stuff like that, and antisocial behaviour. And a few local champions live here as well that actually do come out and keep this lovely green clean and doing a bit of litter picking and general maintenance around the area. So it's a great way. It's like I say, Charlie, when I was a councillor, it was something I did most weekends, get out there, bit of litter picking, cleaning up, tidying up, painting park benches, stuff like that. And it is twofold. It's about doing stuff, doing positive stuff for your community, and about engaging with the public as well. And look here, I'll show you our brilliant volunteers, how much rubbish they've cleared today. Can you pick the bag up, please, guys? Look at that, there's heaps of the stuff, it's everywhere, but we're going to make sure that local council picks this up, and hopefully, Charlie, you and Ben Bradley in that studio, the next time we do a litter pick, you pair can come and get your hands dirty. That'll be a shock to the system, won't it?
We'll look forward to seeing you both.
I'm sure Ben will no doubt come and join you at some stage too. You know, I'm too comfortable in the studio. You know me, Lee. But you could persuade me. I'm sure you can. Great stuff there.
Well, you know what? We're in Birmingham in a couple. We're in Birmingham in a couple of months, Charlie. I'm sure you'll be loitering around the NEC at some stage. There's still a little bit of litter in that neck of the woods. Maybe you can come out with the old grabbers and give us a dig out in Birmingham.
Absolutely. Well, you know, my people will talk to your people, talk to my people, talk to your people, and we'll get something sorted.
Let's talk to people, shall we?
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much as well. I'm sure we'll be coming back to you a bit later on. Chairman of Reform UK there, the brilliant Lee Anderson with his team of volunteers there. Now, we'd love for you to be part of today's programme. So if you're out litter picking, like you just saw there with the chairman, or taking part in a local clean-up effort, take a photo or send a short video onto X using the hashtag #CleaningUpBritain. We'll be sharing your pictures throughout today's programme, showcasing all of the fantastic work being done by volunteers, activists, campaigners, councillors right across the country. So get involved, share your photos with that hashtag #CleaningUpBritain, and you can see yourself featured live on air. And I think we've got a couple of videos and photos that have already come in. Let's go to Grimsby. Here we are. Look at that. A video already sent in. A full bag there. Somebody there picking up what looks to be some sort of tin can or yogurt pot, and a few volunteers. Full bags there in Grimsby by the looks of things. Very good stuff. And 2 bags there already full. I mean, it's amazing, really. This is local people going out this morning and right across the country, seeing litter, taking part in this national clean-up effort, knowing a job needs to be done to restore that civic pride in the place and communities in which people live, and they're just getting on with it. They're doing a fantastic job, I think. So we'll be seeing more of those videos later on. Keep them coming in, wherever you are right across the country. Send them hashtag #CleaningUpBritain, and we'll get your video or photos featured. Now, Reform UK, not just in the UK, has been celebrating on the back of a set of local elections earlier this year. We've been celebrating growing support in Wales. The party says it has established itself as the official opposition in the Senate, pledging to challenge the Welsh Government and put what it calls common sense policies at the heart of Welsh politics. Here's the Wales leader, Dan Thomas, with more.
Reform are now the official opposition in the Welsh Parliament, and we're already making an impact and holding Plaid Cymru to account. Plaid Cymru tried to row back on their election pledge to cut 2-year waiting lists in the NHS within a matter of months. But at First Minister's questions, I forced the First Minister to keep to that pledge. And the Shadow Cabinet are holding Plaid Cymru to account on the economy, on farming, on tourism, and on women's rights, and so many more other issues. Reform pledged to champion common sense policies in the Welsh Parliament and to put the people of Wales first. That's exactly what we're doing. If you want to keep up with our progress, follow us on Facebook and X.
Dan Thomas there. Well, today's campaign is being led from Boston in Lincolnshire, where Reform UK's Deputy Leader Richard Tice has been out with volunteers helping to kick off this nationwide day of action. Weekend ahead there now, I'm delighted to say, to find out exactly what's been going on. Richard, it's great to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining. Just tell us what's been happening in Boston, how's the turnout been, and what's the reaction been from local people? I think Richard, if you can hear me,
Morning, listeners and viewers. Yes, I'm here in the heart of Boston. I know some people who might be listening might be just getting out of bed. You might have had a good night, but we have been hard at work. Yes, I've already been in Skegness, sunny, glorious Skegness this morning. No time for ice cream. We were out and about. We were litter picking, and we picked about 20 or 30 bags worth with the brilliant Skegness Wombles as well. That's Reform cleaning up Britain. And what I realised, it suddenly hit me. Here we are, Saturday morning, cleaning up the rubbish, and I suddenly realised that's what I do all week. Yes, in the House of Commons I spend my time listening to rubbish and having to try and clear up the wretched stuff. I mean, honestly, what we actually need, as well as clearing up our streets, all the hedges and things, we actually need a clear up and a clean out of the House of Commons, but more of that in the months to come. What I've also just noticed, as we're out and about and clearing up, and we chose red bags because we thought it was, appropriate. Red, Labour, rubbish, it's all sort of part and parcel of the same. What I noticed was, we all love a good beer, but folks, please do put your cans in the litter bin. And, some people like to smoke, some people don't. Those good folk who smoke, the quantity of butt ends, fag ends. Sean Matthews, our brilliant leader of the County Council, Lincolnshire County Council, is just, the smokers, just put your butt ends in the bin, folks.
Yeah, you can also get those little things that you can put the cigarette ends out in your box and put them in your pocket and then empty them out when you get home. There are better ways to deal with your cigarette butts than just stick them on the ground. It's the same with the rubbish. Back of my car gets filled up with coffee pots and all sorts of things from different coffee shops.
Half of his own bag is the rubbish from his own car, but there we are,
But at the end of the day, it all goes into a bag and then it goes into a bin. We can't be doing it, throwing this litter around. It's rubbish, absolute rubbish.
And that's the point. And this is us. This is what we're doing at Reform UK. We're leading the way. We have to have more civic pride, more passionate belief and enthusiasm for our environment, for our villages, for our towns, cleaner streets. It actually, in a sense, cleanliness starts at the grassroots. It really does, and it creates that sense of passion for one's village, one's town, one's environment. And if everybody keeps things clean, then guess what? Everything is clean. And I think we could just do so much better, couldn't we?
We really could. It's time to tidy up Britain.
Absolutely. Keep tidying up Britain, and led, of course, by Reform. Everywhere, whether we're clearing out and cleaning up the House of Commons or whether we're clearing up our streets, you can rely on Reform. Back to you, Charlie, in the studio. Is the studio clean, by the way? Or have you got some dodgy, dirty trainers on?
Well, first of all, Richard, we love the red bag idea. We think that's absolutely brilliant. That is Labour's rubbish that needs to be cleaned up, not just on the streets, but you're absolutely right, in Westminster too. We can all agree on that. But the studio, since you've asked, Richard, is very clean indeed. And indeed, I've cleaned myself up a bit since the last time we were out together in Birmingham. I am wearing some very nice shoes. I'm not sure if you can see them. I'm not sure if I can get my leg up this early in the morning. But there you are. We'll move on. Because we might have lost. We've lost Richard maybe because of my shoes. Who knows? I have that effect on people. But thank you so much to Richard and his campaign team there. We'll be coming to him hopefully again a little bit later on in the show. But joining me in the studio, I'm still delighted to be joined by Ben Bradley, the head of Local Government Delivery for Reform UK. Ben, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Just give us your take on what you've heard so far. So we've seen Richard Tice there just a second ago. We've had Lee Anderson, Chairman of Reform UK in Ashfield, leading members of Reform out on the streets today doing a litter pick.
It's great, isn't it? These high-profile guys, like political celebrities, out doing what we should all be doing, right? Taking responsibility for our communities. And Richard talks about it there. You know, if you've heard of like broken glass theory, where actually if a place is a mess, if it looks a mess, if there's litter and there's graffiti, then it almost becomes like permissible to throw your litter on the floor because it's already there and it's not my problem, it's not my fault. So we've got to take that responsibility. And it's great to see that today for sure. Some of those councils in those areas doing some really good stuff to try and tackle those other visible signs of decline as well. There are all sorts of examples where, you know, just degradation and the kind of downturn in things that people can see is a really visible sign of that, whether that's our roads, like in Nottinghamshire, more investment going into roads and resurfacing there than anywhere else in the country. Mick Barton, we saw on the VT there, doing an incredible job. Or in Lincolnshire, we saw Sean Matthews, the county council leader there, where they're opposing some of the largest solar applications on agricultural land anywhere in the country, protecting our environment, protecting the countryside. So Reform, I think, really are leading the way on that stuff. And hundreds of activists out this morning doing the same.
What did you say? Absolutely hundreds of activists out this morning. And visibility is another key word that you use there. How important is it as the head of local government delivery here at Reform, the people who are out there, the campaigners, the volunteers, the councillors, the activists, anybody that just wants to get involved, the visibility bit is key. People are wearing high-vis jackets, they're wearing Reform UK branding, some of which we are displaying on our lovely table here this morning, but more about that later on. How important for you is it that people are visible? So if they are out wearing a nice sort of... you like the pink one.
I like the pink one, the blue one, look.
But here we go, we've got Reform UK T-shirts here, or football shirts I should say. Now people can go out wearing these, they can be absolutely seen.
They can.
And how important for you is that activists and campaigners are visible? Because it's not just about doing the physical litter picking or the cleaning of street signs or whatever it is. It's about being visible to the public and the public being able to engage with your councillors, for example.
Well, all these local representatives are community leaders, right? And we've gone, I mean, the momentum's been incredible. We've gone from a few hundred just 15, 18 months ago to 2,500 councillors across the country really now. It's a veritable army of people who can be out there visible, tackling things in our communities, leading the way for people. And if they see people like Lee, like Richard Tice, high-profile political figures out there being able to do that really, really ground-level stuff, right? Active in their communities, then other people will follow. And we've talked a lot about...
And does that, sorry to interrupt, does that really get people involved, do you think? Because I know Reform UK, they had a full slate of candidates effectively, didn't they? They had more than any other political party, if I'm right in saying that, the last set of local elections. So the visibility of Richard, of Lee, of yourself, if you weren't here in the studio, I know you'd be out there.
I got some stick.
You got some stick from Lee Anderson earlier on, but I'm defending you, Ben, because I know if you weren't joining me here today, at my request, then I know you'd be out there leading the charge as well. But that visibility of people like yourselves, that really does allow people to think, you know what, they're doing the hard yards, they're doing the graft. I actually appreciate that, and I actually want to get involved. You see change in action. That must be a great thing, isn't it?
You absolutely do, and we get more and more people obviously join the party, want to stand to be councillors, who no doubt will want to stand for reform in Parliament in the not too distant future, hopefully soon. And the more that grows, the more people can feel like they're part of something. It's a movement with some real momentum, right? And what we want to do is, as we take over councils, as we've got executive responsibility for delivering stuff, we've got to demonstrate that we can do it. It's all well and good saying everyone's rubbish, but we've got to prove that we can deliver, and we will practice what we preach. So getting out there in our communities, taking real ownership of everything from litter to highways to planning applications and things that we've talked about, just demonstrates that, you know, we don't just talk a good game, but those reform councillors actually are actively out there delivering every day.
Well, that's it, and it starts off locally, doesn't it, before things sort of progress maybe a bit high, whether it's regionally in terms of county, but also in the Senedd. We heard from Dan Thomas earlier on there in Wales. At a local level, where Reform did very well in last year's elections, did very well this year's elections, why do you think people are turning to reform at a local level? Because it tends to be usually on the national level. People say, "Well, I'm tired of the two-party system," and and all the arguments that you and I have probably rehearsed and we've heard so many times. But why do people actually vote reform locally? Is it because they see events like today? Is it because they know that actually there needs to be a change locally as well from local people?
It flows all the way down. I think obviously people have their huge frustrations at Labour and Conservative failures across a number of years in central government, and we all share that frustration. That's why we're here. But at the same time, that goes all the way down through local councils. People who have experienced declining services and their council tax going up year on year have watched their roads decline, have watched their high street decline. We can't carry on, just like in Westminster we can't carry on as we are. Out there in our councils and in our communities we can't carry on as we are either. So to have more and more reform campaigners and councillors out there actively making a difference can only help us to demonstrate that we can deliver and grow that support even further.
Well, there is someone who I know that is a campaigner and a councillor who is also out in the field today, Ben, and let's go and talk to him now. Let's head to Essex, where, as I say, we've got volunteers out there, but one in particular who I know, Jamie McIver, live from Ongar, County Councillor for Essex. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Just give us an update. What's been happening where you are? How's the turnout been? What sort of difference have your volunteers been making?
Oh, good morning, Ben and Charlie. And first of all, I'm so proud of all the reform councillors and activists out there today. We're doing an amazing job. And here in Epping Forest in Essex, we've got teams all over the place in Waltham Abbey, Loughton, Epping. I'm here in my own ward of Ongar. And I have to admit, Charlie, I'm very lucky as a ward councillor. I've got an amazing community here that do regular litter picking. But despite the fact we have regular litter picking, I can't believe how much litter there is. And do you know the weird thing? I'm actually standing by a bin, and literally the bin is empty. There's litter all around the bin, and there is another bin over there and another bin over there. What is going on in this country? People need to remember what you've got to do. Put your rubbish in the bin. It is wrong, isn't it? And do you know, how have we got to this sort of state? It wasn't like this years and years ago, do you think?
So let's just go back to that, because you're absolutely right. It seems blindingly obvious where you've got a bin in the middle of a park to put the rubbish in it rather than next to it or on the floor. But why is it so important then, when you see things like that, after your weekly litter picks that you've beautifully advertised there for us today, why is it so important then to restore that civic pride in your community? How important is days like that you're doing today and every week that you go out and clean up this litter? How important is it, to do that, but then maintain that cleanliness? How is it to maintain that environment?
Well, it's so important because pride in place is what unites all of us where you live. You know, I'm very proud to be from Essex. We've actually reform-led Essex County Council this month. We've launched Hello Essex, where we're showcasing our amazing county. And civic pride has actually been the heart of everything we've done here in local government. And I remember on my first day as Director of Local Government, civic pride was the one thing we all were united on delivering. And of course, the excellent work that we've done in all other departments in our council. So I think for me, it's about making sure that people are proud where they live. And if you're proud where you live, then you want to do more to make the place where you live even better. And I hope what that actually ends up with, which we've had here in Epping Forest, is people actually putting themselves on a ballot paper local elections and standing because they care that deeply about whether that's protecting the green belt, whether that's making sure that we don't have graffiti all over signs, whether that's making sure we don't have litter and fly tipping. So I think people really do feel that Reform UK is the party that takes civic pride seriously, because let's face it, 14 years of a Tory government, all we've seen is our town centres decline, and now we've got Labour who have zero plan to do anything about it. It's only Reform UK that are truly of the belief that we can restore pride in our communities.
Jamie, I think you said it beautifully there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'll let you get back to it. There looks like there's a lot of litter there to be picked up. So I'll let you crack on with that. That's Jamie McIver there, reporting from Ongar in his local area of Essex. I think we can take a look now at some of the photos you've been sending in. We threw out that hashtag, cleaning up Britain, where we want you to send all your videos and pictures of everything that's taking place in your local area. Here's just a small selection of the brilliant work happening right across the country today. And here we are, Crawley. 2 volunteers there, looking very patriotic in that Union flag top and Reform UK sweatshirt on the right-hand side. 2 volunteers there in Crawley. That's underway. Oh, there you go.
And Andrew Husband up there in Durham at the county show, I think.
Durham, as it says, yes, the County Durham show. A brilliant stand there. So even though they're at a show, advertising themselves, allowing people to go and talk to them and ask all the kinds of questions that you'd expect to ask of a leader of Durham County Council, they're doing a litter pick.
Cracking on.
Amazing. And Mansfield, fantastic. Look at those, Ben.
Been out all day. Mick's been out all day. Look, we saw him earlier.
Now, which one's Mick?
Mick in the middle.
Mick in the middle, okay. Very good, Mick. And a lovely group of volunteers there. 4 or 5 currently empty bags, but no doubt they'll be filled by the end of the day. That's some brilliant stuff there in Mansfield. Thank you so much for all of those photos. Keep them coming in, and we'll get them live on air as we report throughout the morning. But now, with Andy Burnham set to become Britain's next Prime Minister, that leaves a vacancy in the North West. Reform UK has now unveiled its candidate in the by-election for the Greater Manchester mayoralty, and it's Sian Astley. She says she will campaign on improving accountability and bringing change to the region. Here's what she had to say following her selection.
I am not a wrecking ball. I'm a creator. You know, I'm a builder. I make things and I make things better, and that's what I've spent 30 years doing. I am Sian Astley and I am Reform's candidate for the Greater Manchester mayoral election. Labour have been in charge here for 50 years, and there are things under the carpet, there are things behind the curtain, all the analogies. And people say that there's a spotlight on Reform, and the way I feel is that we are the spotlight. Reform is the spotlight. We're here to shine the light, and sunlight is the best disinfection. Everybody says that. I was a Labour voter, and the vice-like grip that Labour has had over Manchester has been evident for decades. What I started to see were things I didn't like a lack of transparency, a contempt for the voter. We have to make sure that those promises are stuck to and delivered. And the question, I think, for voters in this election is, do they trust Labour to deliver those promises when they've let us down so much in the past? I don't think so, which is why I'm standing. I propose opening up the files on the grooming gangs, on the GMCA luxury apartment loans, on the ULEZ waste, on the alleged Aviva overspend, and on the social homes allocations and deals. I'm standing because Greater Manchester deserves better. Britain is broken and Britain needs reform.
Now let's head to Newcastle under Lyne, another community taking part in today's nationwide campaign. I'm delighted to say joining us live now is Jonathan Gullis. Jonathan is the leader of Newcastle under Lyne Borough Council. Jonathan, welcome. What's the atmosphere been like where you are today? Are people getting behind the campaign? Why do you think this message about civic pride is striking such a chord with local communities, and particularly where you are today?
Well, hey up, Charlie, how are you? Good to see you, Duck, as we all say up here in North Staffordshire. Look, it's an amazing experience out here. We've got 3 teams just across Kidsgrove Parish. I've got a couple of my councillors here, John and Scott, you can see them in the background. John's wife is even shocked to see John knows what a litter picker looks like, and so she's taken that home to make sure he picks up the rubbish in his own house. So it's an amazing experience. We've got people in Silverdale, led by Martin Ashworth. We've got Ian Sparks. We've got litter pickers, as I say, going on across Kidsgrove Parish, all our borough councillors here. And it's just great because at the end of the day, cleaning up your community is an important thing. It shouldn't be needed, shouldn't have to happen, but it's important it does happen. Otherwise, we can restore a bit of pride in our town. This is a small way we as Reform UK can make a difference.
So I can see in the background already some great volunteers that you already mentioned, but those bags are already look like they look like they're already full up. So how much litter have you actually found this morning? When did you kick off? How long are you going to be out there for? And how many more people are you expecting to join you today?
So we've got 3 teams totaling around 15 people out and across the Kidsgrove Town Centre area. I think in total we've so far got 12 bags full of rubbish, picking up things like pants and jumpers for some random reason, as well as glass bottles, plastic butts and bottle caps, and sadly in some cases drug paraphernalia. And this is quite worrying because this is a small path that leads the town centre towards Tesco here, where people, especially elderly people, come to do their shop. and it's an area that they felt intimidated by, which is why I'm trying to get a PSPO, Public Space Protection Order, in place so we can take action against the louts and layabouts that are blighting our town centre.
And well, tell us a bit more about that PSPO, I think you just referred to it as. Tell us a bit more about that, but also the visibility that you guys have got there. You're all in high-vis jackets, you're all doing a sterling job, 3 teams out, that's amazing, of 15 people. Are local residents, are they coming up to you to talk about, not just the litter, obviously they see what you're doing, you're clearing up the mess that other people have left behind, but are they coming to talk to you and engage with you on other local issues? So whether it is that PSPO that you were just referencing, is it antisocial behaviour, is it other issues that are being raised on the doorstep? The visibility that you guys have there, are residents engaging wider than just the clean-up effort today?
Well, look, we started outside Charlie Kids Grove Oatcake shop, and that's a great local little business where obviously you get your cheese and sausage or cheese and bacon, depending on what you want in your oatcake. I'm controversial, I like a bit of red sauce, but it's meant to be brown sauce, I'm told, up here in North Staffordshire. And all I can say is those local businesses go out and about, day in, day out, also picking up in the community, and the local people are saying it's great to have others stepping up to do it, but they're also deeply upset that there's a tiny minority, as I say, who lie on the street in the town centre, publicly drinking, and because we don't have this public space protection order yet, because we need to get more evidence in order to put that into place, the police aren't able to just move these people on, and Labour have undermined that by axing the Vagrancy Act. That means when we do get people blighting the town centre, lying around, rejecting all the support we as a local authority offer, then Labour's undermined those powers for us to be able to pick up and move, as I say, these louts and layabouts on, and I'm not having it any more. So we're looking at our homelessness strategy, we're looking obviously at what powers we need to give to our officers so we can get to grips with this issue, so the tiny minority, and it is a tiny minority, don't ruin the town centre and our community for the majority of law-abiding, hard-working, tax-paying residents.
I've got Ben Bradley with me in the studio, brilliant Ben Bradley, who made a fantastic point earlier on that it's about the environment and how it looks can shape a person, or whether it's a person that shapes the environment. So if you have a public pathway, that's what it looks like that you're on there, if that is completely dumped with litter, that will just encourage people, maybe even the most law-abiding, nicest person in your local area, that might even tempt them to think, well, you know, everyone else is doing it, so I'll just chuck my crisp packet on the floor, or my can of Coke or whatever it is, or other soft drinks are available. The environment shapes people. So how important is it, when you talk about the pride in place, and to Ben's point earlier on, having a nice, clean environment, a place where people can feel invested in their community, how important is that in shaping the behaviour of some of those layabouts that you were talking about?
Well, it's vital, as you say, Charlie, because at the end of the day, it's about having a sense of pride in where you live, and everyone is proud of the place that they call home. But it's got to look and feel like that, and in too many cases, for too long, too many of the establishment political parties, Labour and Conservative, have basically not bothered to do action days like this, or just willingly turned a blind eye and focused more, as we found out in Newcastle and Lyme, on virtue signalling on net zero, wanting to buy electric bin lorries, but by the way, not buy the chargers to charge them with. How mad is that? And by us cancelling that, since we've come into power, we've saved £6.2 million, and that's money we can invest instead into the brilliant street scene team that we have, who go out and about, work in the communities to clean up, react to when people are reporting overgrown footpaths, or indeed if any fly tipping takes place, make sure it's investigated, and therefore make sure that fines are issued. And I think we've had £5,000 worth of fines issued so far, but it's not good enough, and we're ramping up that expectation and those targets, as well as making sure all fines that we issue are at the maximum level, as Clean Up Britain has been demanding, as of course the brilliant Reform UK led in this local government space by Ben, Jamie and Richard has been calling on as well. And I think you've even had Gorgeous George, I know you said brilliant Ben, Gorgeous George Finch, as he calls himself apparently, just as in the studio earlier, well, he's been leading a way there forward for us to show us what can be done. So I think this is what Reform does, right? This is the difference it makes. Family, community, country. We don't sit in offices and moan and groan. We don't tell everyone just to go and report it on some faceless app. We take action by getting out in our community day in, day out, and standing up for the people we're proud to call our residents.
Well, from Jolly Jonathan there to Gorgeous George, I think we're going to now, is he called? Thank you, Jonathan, so much for your time this morning. Keep up the good work there, and all the team behind you there. 15 people out already this morning. That's fantastic stuff. Well, let's go to the man again now. He's just been dubbed Gorgeous George, self-described, or maybe just by Jonathan. Who knows? Well, let's talk to him now. We're going back to Riversley Park in Nuneaton, where volunteers have been out and about this morning as part of today's nationwide clean-up. Joining us live, George Finch, leader of Warwickshire County Council. George, how do you feel about being called Gorgeous George by Jonathan Gullis there? I'm sure many people call you that, but apparently it was self-described.
Well, Jonathan may think he's gorgeous, but that's in the name, Gorgeous George. I think if everyone calls me that, we're going to be great. Richard Tice even said it himself, the best looking councillor we've got. Now, I'm not saying that, so I'm just a councillor, but what a day it's been. Lovely day. You know what, we found a lot of litter. Look, we found some litter, we've got some bags. This is one of our county councillors, Darren. He's learning how to tie a knot for the first time, and he's done it. Successful. It's been really good, to be fair, going round, speak to some of the people that regularly go to the park, just saying this is a normal, regularly kept up, well kept up park, and we're just doing our little bit. Look, watch this. I'm using with me little picker. Look, boom, and we can have fun while we do it. But I'm going to go to our newly elected councillor, Councillor Pete Gilbert. How is it wearing a high vis?
Really enjoyable. Yeah, it's what I've always wanted in life, to be honest. But very important. People have been very positive watching us litter pick in this park today. And as you said, this is a well-maintained park, but we've still got bags of litter. And it's really nice to be able to put something back and actually show some respect for the community by litter picking, and even wearing a high vis.
It did take you about 10 minutes to get the high vis on, though, didn't it?
Well, they don't fit everyone, George. Not all of us are gorgeous.
It does, it looks absolutely lovely. It looks lovely. And you've got Reform on the back, look at that. We've got Reform on the back. It's absolutely amazing. But you know what, how has it been, Kaz? You've been doing some litter picking for a while now.
Yeah, it's been good. You find it quite a lot. The surprising bit was there's no bins in the kids' children's park, so I'm going to get on to our councillor for leisure to see if we can get a couple of bins put in the park to stop the litter being dropped there. But considering that the main body of the park's been done, there's still an awful lot of litter to pick up.
And why do you think that? Why do you think there is a lot of litter in the area in general?
So 90 to 95% of the litter is plastic cans and plastic bottles, glass bottles. So I think if we went back to how it was back in the day, which I believe you touched on in the announcement, and actually put a tax on the bottles when they're bought, so other European countries do it, we used to do it back in the day, you won't have 90 to 95% of your litter to be picked up, because people will pick the bottles up to take them back to get the money back off them.
Ah, clever. See, this is what we're all about in Reform, innovative ideas. And Charlie, I remember last time we spoke during the election, you had your white trainers on. I've got some white trainers on today. I recently found that Air Force are now out of fashion. So I don't know what I need to do. I need to go shopping maybe, but Air Force are out of fashion, so you need to... Are you wearing white trainers today?
Do you know, these white trainers have become the bane of my life. Ever since I was out there reporting from the streets of Birmingham with Richard Tice, who wasn't best pleased, I don't think, on my attire that day. I am delighted to report, George, just for you, just for Richard, and everyone else watching, I am in nice shoes this morning. I tried to get my... there we got a nice white shot there, if you can see. And Ben... Now, but Ben could be going out to come and do some litter picking later on. So you are appropriately dressed for a litter pick, which is absolutely fantastic. But I just want to ask you about the kind of litter you're picking up. So we've seen bottles there. We don't know what kind of colour bottles they are, whether they're beer bottles, whether they're wine bottles, whether they're just glass bottles from soft drinks and the like. But how much litter also have you picked up? We saw 3 bags full earlier on when we first came to you. We're now zooming in again on a bag there that is absolutely filled to the brim of all kinds of things I can see in the monitor to my right. Just tell us about the kind of litter that you're picking up. How many bottles? Are they cans? Is it yoghurt pots? Is it banana skins? What is it that you are seeing most of that's most problematic in your area?
So I think that the main bit of litter that we're picking up is empty cans of beer, cans of Coke. In Nuneaton we like a pint, we like a beer, we like to go and enjoy the weather. So if we're in the park we might have a few cans, but unfortunately they just get dumped out on the floor. Even though there are bins around, people just have lost that ability to work within the community, and that's what we need to restore really, is working with communities and villages on making sure that this is our environment. We can't just be saying, oh well, it's someone else's problem, someone else will deal with it, I'm in my own castle, I'll look after myself. But we have to work together on this, because if we're going to fix this country, if we're going to clean up Britain, if we're going to do the things that we want to do, we have to do it together. We can't do it alone. And to get as many activists out, we've got some of them over on the other side of the park as well, but to get as many activists out doing litter picking is amazing. People are seeing it, people are appreciative of the work we're doing, and it's a different way of doing community work, different way of what councillors normally do. Instead of being off in County Hall or Shire Hall or in the Town Hall, going out in our communities, picking up litter, that's what good councillors do, and that's what reform councillors do. The green councillors are too busy tying themselves to trees or swimming in rivers. They're doing some crazy stuff, these green councillors. We've got a councillor in Warwickshire that's a green, and I'm just going to delve into a little bit. He only showers once a week, and I have to Febreze him before he comes into the office. Or we try and hose him down, but we can't do that because it'll contaminate the water, which is a shame. So so we just want to make sure that our areas, our parks are clean and tidy, and I'm going to be bringing in some other action days as well, to be cleaning up some signs, graffiti as well in the park. We've got a nice little area over there, like a gazebo type thing, and unfortunately the kids have put graffiti all over it. And again, it's that, where are the parents? Why aren't the parents and the schools teaching our young people how to respect their areas? They don't need to tell them exactly how to do it. It's just about installing those British values of supporting your community and working together as a team. My family have always said it takes a village to bring up a child, and that's why it's so important as a team we work together, and it's those schools, parents, grandparents, friends, family members all coming together to make sure our areas are as clean as possible, so we're leaving our parks, our villages in a better environment for the future.
George, you're absolutely right. I think everybody can get behind that last bit that you said, making our streets cleaner, safer, and making everybody come together. Just a happy home, happy household, happy community. Everybody just gets on a lot better. Thank you so much, George Finch. Keep up the good work there with you and your team. We might come back to you later on, but send us some pictures from where you are. If we can't come back, we want to see how that all plays out where you are. But next we'll go to Mark Arnold, leader of the West Northamptonshire Council. He's joining us now down the line. Mark, lovely to see you there. What's happening where you are today?
Yeah, greetings from West Northampton. We're here today in Kingthorpe, which is actually my constituency ward. I'm joined by my whip, Councillor Morris, carefully wearing his reform vest and high vis. And I don't know if you can still hear me in the studio there, but we're doing a litter pick around the area here today, and we're going out into our parks where the young people's football teams are playing. We don't want litter flying around the area there too. There's plenty of work to be done.
Well, a fantastic place to go to. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because
actually can't hear you guys in the studio there. Sorry.
I played a little bit of football.
I've lost the feed there, I think.
Not convinced here in the studio, but I used to play football, but I turned into a football referee. That's where I was often found on the football pitch. It must have been the authority, the power went to my head. But you're absolutely right. In football pitches, particularly on a weekend, as it is today, up and down the country, there'll be people that are leaving bottles, that are leaving orange skins, that are leaving all kinds of things on a playing field. Not very nice for players.
You played football a long time ago if you were having half-time orange.
I was, yes, yeah. I'm showing my age a bit there. Do they not do that anymore?
It's more for the Haribos myself.
More for the
I want to see
Haribos?
photo evidence of your football days.
I will. I'll privately. I'll send you a picture of me in my full referee's uniform, cards in hand, whistle to the
All
mouth.
the best players become referees. Yeah. It's an important point Mark makes, though, that actually how many people in our communities use those spaces, and you've got kids running around, hopefully, certainly where I live, thousands of kids. Both my boys play football on a Saturday morning. When you arrive and there's broken glass on the pitch or dog fouling on the pitch, it ruins people's whole day, engagement, doesn't it, in whatever they're doing. So it's bigger than there's the cultural thing, there's the the pride in our place, but also a safety thing. There's looking after our kids. There's making sure that we can get out and engage in other things and our grassroots sports and other important things on the weekends in our public spaces. So a huge amount to it, and we've heard all sorts there from different leaders about other kinds of action that they're taking. Jonathan talking about public space protection orders, some of the things that we can do to kind of enforce behaviours, particularly in town centres, things like street drinking or antisocial behaviour that you can tackle, that make a huge difference. It's just great to see so many council leaders we've seen out this morning leading the way, and actively driving that change. As Jonathan said, you can sit in a kind of office somewhere expecting other people to do it, but we really are leading the way on this stuff, I think.
Well, sorry, it strikes me as the sort of the people power, so you've got Mark there talking about, as we were just talking about, on the football pitch, you've got Jamie in Onga that was talking about where there's a bin and there is litter just around the bin. That's repeatedly. He's out every week, he says, picking up this litter. It comes from, of course, the council have got to do its job to collect the rubbish and collect the litter, but there is always people in communities, for whatever reason, are just going to flout the law, commit a bit of antisocial behaviour, drop their crisp packets, beer cans, bottle cans, whatever they are. So when you see a group of local people coming together to actually clean up their area for that pride in place, especially if they're joined by or being led by local councillors, that's a real positive thing, isn't it, for the area? Yeah,
it's brilliant, and I think it starts to change culture. You see, when you are seeing people actively taking ownership of their communities, when you're seeing, proper enforcement action of things like littering and fly tipping, when you're seeing, businesses, I think George mentioned local business, or Jonathan mentioned local businesses coming out and cleaning up around their area. A huge proportion of litter is from big branded takeaway outlets, and Reform want to put more onus back on them to make them go out and tidy up. But when you see all that action happening, actually all of a sudden it doesn't feel as acceptable to just chuck my rubbish on the floor, because you're directly kind of going against your own community, your own people working really hard in the place that you live. So one of the most important things I think we can do as Reform councillors is to try and revive that sense of community, that sense of connection and the shared purpose, that people will talk about. Years and years ago, I knew all my neighbours. George said, it takes a village to raise a child. That used to be the case, right? We used to look out for each other. So yes, we're talking about picking up cans out of the bushes, but actually we're talking about culturally something much bigger than that.
No, fantastic stuff there. You're absolutely right. And it's not just George, we've got everyone else out across the country. Lee Anderson's there. We heard from Jonathan Gallis earlier on, Richard Tice. Some great work being done. So thank you for now, Ben. We'll be coming back to you a little bit later on. But now, if you haven't already done it, please download the Reform Go app. It's a fantastic place to keep up to date with everything going on at Reform, including upcoming events and information on how to join and keep up to date with everything going on, not just across the country, but also in your borough or county. Just search Reform Go in the App Store now. But now it's time to see what you've been up to. These are just some of the latest pictures coming into us live in the studio that you've been sharing with us using that hashtag cleaning up Britain. Now, we had a good couple of features earlier on. Here we go. Solihull. A fantastic group of campaigners there. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. About how many there? 10?
Marvellous display of high vis. I enjoy that.
High vis, high visibility, nice green bags there. Brilliant stuff in Babs Mill Jubilee Park. Whoever Babs is.
She's done well to get a whole park.
You've got a whole park there, Babs. And a whole group of campaigners there cleaning up Britain. Coventry now. Amazing.
What a beautiful building that is.
Very nice building. But would be marred by the litter, I imagine, around that building. It's a beautiful venue.
The more we can take pride in that kind of heritage, right? You want that place to be beautiful.
Absolutely. Well done. Well done.
And they're doing a conga.
More people in Coventry. Just it's a conveyor belt of in case someone misses, in case you miss the first bit at the front, then you get it picked up by
There's
the second or
clearly
third
a dance
person.
routine going on there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great image there from people in Coventry. Oh, well done. Keep those photos, videos. If you want to take a video, get them online. Hashtag cleaning up Britain, and we'll play as many as we can throughout the remainder of the show. But now, the local elections in May marked a significant moment for Reform UK, with the party making gains right across England and taking control of a number of councils. Supporters described it as a breakthrough, while opponents saw it as a major shift in the political landscape. Here's a look back at those election results and what they could mean for the future.
Hello, Reform UK and Thurrock! Well, the very fabric of our society has been under attack. We've been told that we should just accept open borders. Men arrive in small boats day after day. They are the deliberate choices of weak men and weak women who lack the courage, lack the spine, and lack the moral clarity to defend the country they were elected to serve. You do not accept this, and that is why a reform government will end it. If we find it in ourselves to rise and master this moment, then we will sweep the board again in May, and together we will change the course of British history.
We are not going to surrender everything that was built over centuries for us to be a free, independent nation. We will not put up with this anymore. Simple as. Thank you.
Welcome back to Reform Cleaning Up Britain, our special live programme following today's nationwide day of action. Over the past hour, we've been speaking to volunteers, councillors and campaigners from right across the country, all working to tackle litter and fly tipping in their local communities. We've seen some fantastic efforts taking place, and thank you to everyone who's been sending in your photos using the hashtag Cleaning Up Britain. We'll be sharing more of those throughout this second hour. But there's still plenty to come. We'll be heading back to some live locations right across Britain to see how the cleanups are progressing. We'll hear from more people taking part, and we'll continue to ask whether campaigns like this really can help restore civic pride in towns and our cities across this great country. So wherever you're watching, stay with us. There's lots more to come on Reform Cleaning Up Britain. Well, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined in the studio by Ben Bradley, Head of Local Government Delivery. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
Happy to.
I know you want to be out there with the teams right across the country.
Yes, I've already had some abuse for that.
But you very kindly agreed to join me here in the studio this morning. Just give us your reflection of the previous hour that we've seen loads of people out right across the country, leading members of Reform, MPs, the chairman's out and about. Richard Tice will be coming to in a second, who I know is doing some sterling work. But what does it mean for you when you see all these activists, you see councillors, you see campaigners out and about doing such a brilliant job today?
Yeah, aside from the party chairman being mean to me about being in the studio instead of out there, it's been really good. It's not likely to be direct, is it? But fantastic to see so many people out taking some ownership of their communities, taking pride in their places. And I think the more we see Reform activists, Reform councillors, council leaders and even our MPs out there taking that ownership, doing something practical on the ground to improve our places, the more it helps to change the culture, the more it helps to push people to take that responsibility for their places, and hopefully we make a change for the better.
I think you're absolutely right. And one of those people who won't be mean to you, I'm sure, is Richard Tice, who has been leading the charge in Boston, Lincolnshire. We can, I think, go to him now. We saw him just shy of an hour ago. Richard, there we are. We can see you. Give us an update where you are, what's been happening, how much litter have you been able to clear, and how many more people have joined you since we last spoke?
Yeah, Charlie, a very good afternoon now. And yes, what I'm really keen to know before I give you an update, Charlie, is when you were a football referee, were you wearing a proper pair of football boots, or did you have those dreadful white trainers? That's what we really want to know amongst everything. Give us a quick heads up on that, Charlie.
They were a nice pair of football boots. You're absolutely right. No white trainers inside. They wouldn't have taken me seriously then, and that's exactly why I don't wear them now.
Listen, we are out and about. We've got a team of about 15 to 20 people here in the heart of Boston, clearing up rubbish, dozens of bags being collected, and getting huge support also from drivers passing by, people walking by, lots of people giving us hoots, stopping to say well done and thank you. Just inevitably, you can't please everybody. One complete moron stopped and was rather foul-mouthed to us, despite the fact there was a baby present. What was fascinating was another member of the public driving by was so cross at hearing this abuse that he stopped as well. So, it's all fun and games out and about. But here's the other thing. Apart from all the rubbish that I touched on earlier, the bin cans, the fag ends, here we are, and I think you can see this is a Asda trolley, and I can tell you that we are about a mile away from the nearest Asda. So this hasn't been blown here, it hasn't come here on a wind turbine. Someone's just bought their shopping here or whatever, and then just dumped it here. It's that lack of care which is so sad, but hopefully by starting this sort of cleaning up Britain campaign and having these action days, then we can show people that actually reform councils, we mean business. We want to create that sense of pride in our streets, in our civic areas, in our communities, and that this sort of behaviour is just not acceptable. So we'll be taking this lovely, fine example of a shopping trolley back to Asda. It doesn't look as though it gets us a £1 deposit scheme, but there we are. We're not worried about that. We're just worried about getting our streets clean and keeping them clean. You know what they say, Charlie, look after the pennies, the pounds look after themselves.
Indeed they do. Well, I was going to ask you, what are you going to do with that trolley? Do you report it? But if you're going to take it back to Asda, that's another way of solving it. I'm absolutely sure.
No, I think
who have you got with you today?
Yeah, out and about. They've all cracked on because I've stopped by the trolley. The enthusiasm here is great, but if camera can just turn round, we can see a couple of other reform councillors here with me, just picking up rubbish. The main thing is actually it's the sort of fag packets, fag ends. That's the one that I think is the biggest culprit that we're seeing here in the sort of the heart of Boston. By the way, lots of wonderful English flags, of course, flying from lampposts, enthusiastically supporting England in the World Cup. And that, of course, is a great thing. Reform councils massively pro the flags, unlike some of these soggy Lib Dem councils where they don't seem to welcome it. Heaven only knows why. So, it's a great learning experience, but we are getting a fantastic response out and about.
Well, just on that point about the flags, because in the area that you're currently in, by the looks of things, obviously there's got to be pride in place, pride in the country if people are raising those flags, whether it's just to support England, which we should all be doing, but also whether it's just pride in England as a country. So it looks as though you're in an area where people really do care about their community, they care about their family, they care about their country. But there are obviously others who, like that shopping trolley that you're with, standing by, that has found itself there. People just flout those rules. They don't necessarily take as much pride in their place. Once you've done your clean-up job, do you think that will have an impact on changing the minds of people that might be minded to litter? Do you think by having a massive clean-up today that people will think twice and they won't litter?
I think it does. I think this is what leadership is all about. It's about showing the way. It's about having the courage to put a head above the parapet. We're out and about, clearing up, cleaning up. And I think the more that residents see that, then the more they understand that actually it's just unacceptable to be dropping litter everywhere. Find a bin. In Skegness, where I was at earlier this morning, there are lots of bins. Just got to make sure that the council are emptying them frequently enough in a busy tourist area. But I think it's that sense of purpose and direction, confidence in our community. And some people say, it's sort of a gloomy about it and say it's too far gone, you can't do anything about it. I don't accept that. I simply do not accept that. I just think we're better than that. We were really good at it in the past. We can be amazing at it in the future. Other countries are good at this, and we've just got to look at the way that we do things. The other thing that really struck me actually is the quantity of weeds, and I mean, I know some greeny eco-zealot type councils, they actually seem to like weeds, and they don't allow any sort of fertiliser to be put on there. But actually, I think we do need to use some weed killer and keep our streets clean of weeds as well, and that's really, really important. Dear old friends in the EU, they're trying to remove some of the best ways, some of the best fertiliser compounds to get rid of weeds, but this is all about cleaning up Britain, and if we don't do it, it seems to me no one else ever will. Maybe that's one of the reasons that we're leading in all the national polls consistently, because people know we've got the courage, the conviction, the passion. And it's that great expression of Nigel's, those three family values. Family, community, country. That's who we are, it's what we believe in, it's what we stand for.
Richard, thank you so much for that insight, and you're absolutely right. I'll let you get back to it in Boston, Lincolnshire. You can return that trolley.
Back to my shopping trolley.
To where it once came. Get into your shopping trolley. See you later on. Thank you so much, Richard, and thank you for all the work you're doing. I know you've been a huge proponent of leading today's event, so thank you so much, and we'll catch up, no doubt, soon. But we'd love you to be part of today's programme, not just those that are already out and about. So if you're out litter picking, if you've just started, if you've just joined a campaign team or a group already out there and taking part in a local clean-up, take a photo or send us a short video and post it to X using the hashtag #CleaningUpBritain. We'll be sharing your pictures throughout the programme, as we already have done, showcasing the fantastic work being done by volunteers right across the country. So get involved, share your photos with hashtag #CleaningUpBritain, and you could see yourself featured live on air on this very show. How about that? But from one great Reform MP to another. Let's head now to Newark, where today's clean-up is also in full swing. I'm absolutely delighted to say that joining us now is Robert Jenrick, Reform UK's Shadow Chancellor and the MP for Newark. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what's been happening where you are this morning.
Well, hello, Charlie. We're actually in the Nottingham town of Bingham, which is just on the outskirts of Nottingham, and my team and I have been out knocking on doors first thing in the morning, and now we've been litter picking as well, and we've been cleaning some of the local signs as well. This is the Welcome to Bingham sign, and some local councils, not Reform ones, I hasten to add, they let these things go to pot, and so they look so scruffy, and so we've been fixing them up as well as having nice conversations with people on the doorstep. It's all about restoring pride in our communities. We love this country, but it's so sad sometimes to see litter in the verges, in our town centres, signs covered in dirt, and Reform is here to fix that. We want to make this country the beautiful country that it always was and should be in the future, and so doing our bit this morning and encouraging other people to do so as well. And it's been great to see Reform teams of councillors, members of Parliament and our membership out and about all over the country, as you've been showcasing, doing exactly that.
No, I think that's absolutely right, Robert, because it's not just about a litter pick, which lots of people are doing, and I can see some of your great volunteers are doing the same in the background. But it is about the signage that, gets all grimed up that needs to be cleaning. It is about the overgrown hedges that Richard Tice was just talking about, where there is this lack of pride in place, where things are either overgrown, uncleaned, or just littered. That has an impact on people's lives. It has an impact on people's behaviours. So if all of these small things that add up to make such a big difference, then you can really change your local area for the better, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I've always believed in this broken windows theory that if you let the small things go, then it just escalates. It's the same with crime and the campaigns I've taken up, like people fare dodging on the bus or the tube, shoplifting, mobile phone theft, you name it. Hello, sir. How you doing? And it's the same with littering. If you let this happen, then just people's pride in their own home, town, village, community starts to drop. And if Reform stands for anything, it is for restoring pride in the places that we live in our country. And we're going to do that one step at a time. Small things will add up. And I would just say that some local councils really let this go as well. You know, things like not cleaning up signs, you know, the highways, not being out getting the litter off the sides of our big roads and motorways. And reform councils, we want to change this. We want to make sure that we really clean up this country. But of course, it's also about personal responsibility, isn't it? It's not just for the council to go and do this. It's about all of us as well, and being willing to call out people when you see them dropping litter on the side of the road or in a town centre. That's how we restore a sense of responsibility. And as Richard just said, what does reform stand for? It's family, it's community, and it's country. And it's those basic principles that we are going to restore.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, as it is now. I'll let you get back to it. All the hard work there that's taking place with your volunteers. Thank you so much, Rob Jenrick there, Reform UK's Shadow Chancellor from Newark. Ben Bradley still joins me in the studio. Thank you so much for giving up your morning and afternoon to spend the time with me. Just on what Rob was saying there, the small things really do add up to make such a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that broken windows theory that we mentioned earlier on. You know, if things are messy, if there is broken glass, if there is, if things are overgrown or run down, then people stop feeling like they've got to look after them. Oh, it's already a problem. It's not my fault. I can't deal with it. And we've got to change that attitude. It does start with the small things. It does start with cleaning up the litter, but it goes all the way across our country, doesn't it? When we've talked about those values, family, community, country, it goes all the way to the top, and Westminster and Whitehall and the policies that we enact there. We talked at our press conference on this recently about, and Rob mentioned it there. People like National Highways, these national agencies should be out there making sure that our highways, the verges are clear and all those other things as well, making sure that as a state we take responsibility for this stuff, but then we also ask and we expect individuals in our communities to take some ownership of this stuff too and meet us halfway and do that work.
And is this where you think the political dividing lines are being drawn? So where you have people in this country who may be relying on welfare and claiming from the state that might not need to, that feel that they're entitled to something, they're entitled to come into this country maybe illegally and just be handed a house, £50 a week, dental and doctor's appointments, over and above people in this country that have fought for this country, that have put on a uniform, that are sleeping rough, for example. There's a dividing line in the country where there are people who feel that they can just take from the state, and versus those that actually think, no, we've got to change our country for the better. And that starts with those small things like taking action in a national campaign day like today.
100%. And I think arguably the biggest reform mission is that fairness, right? Is that sense that when I do work hard, when I do take pride in my place, when I do follow the rules, when I do put my litter in the bin, all the way down the system, I expect not necessarily even to be rewarded for that, but at least to have a fair system where other people aren't able to take from that system without ever putting anything in. So it does go all the way down from, as you said, getting immigration right and making sure that British citizens are at the forefront of, even in councils, things like priority for social housing that we can tackle, all the way down to making sure that those across our entire community are taking ownership of our parks, of our places, and keeping the place tidy.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Thank you very much, Ben. More from you in a bit. But one of Reform UK's biggest successes at the recent local elections came in Warwickshire, where the party took control of the county council last year. Since then, Council leader George Finch says the administration has wasted no time in getting to work. But before we go back to George, Gorgeous George as has been called throughout the programme, live from Riversley Park in Nuneaton, here's a look at what George says he's achieved so far in Warwickshire. Let's take a look.
Back in May 2025, we took control of Warwickshire County Council. We created a Reform UK administration. And this year, we have just formed a Reform UK administration on the Nuneaton and Bedworth Borough Council. This means that we've got joined up services, more efficiencies for the people in the north of the county. Both towns of Nuneaton and Bedworth have been forgotten about, left to the curb in favour of Warwick, Leamington, Kenilworth and other places. Now we are going to put both of these towns first. You were promised a few years ago a cinema, a multi-storey car park, a health centre and so much more, and that's not been delivered. You were promised a lot and you were given nothing. Now Reform are in town, we're going to change a few things. We've got a plan to achieve that, and we have to work with private developers, taxpayers, you, the people. We have to work together, which is why being leader of the County Council and the Borough Council is so beneficial for you, the taxpayer. We have to make sure this is more efficient and effective leadership. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we can say we're going to smash it, and we're going to make sure we get the best for local residents and the best value for money for taxpayers.
George Finch there, who has joined us repeatedly throughout the morning and the afternoon, and I'm delighted to say he joins us again now from Riversley Park in Nuneaton, where volunteers have been out today as part of that nationwide clear up. There he is, joining us live, George Finch, leader of Warwickshire County Council. George, thanks for joining us. How many black bags now have you filled up?
God, I don't know how many. I can't count how many we've got. We've got that many. We're actually taking them to the tip, which is a great thing, by the way. Our tips are lovely. Even though the Greens and the Liberals hate them, they want to close them down, do all bad stuff with them, but Reform are the only ones that are talking sense on that. But no, welcome back to sunny Nunny. That's what we call it here, sunny Nunny. But Joe, what we've just seen, and it shocked me, whilst we were just setting up for this, we had a youth going down this little path on one of those little scooter things that go 100 miles an hour, and we were just, as a team, we were just talking how that could cause serious damage to a little kid or an elderly person, and it's that kind of societal decline that's gone on. It's not just about litter, it's not just about cleaning road signs, it's that attitude towards other members of society. You know, we all pay our taxes, we all work hard, yet there's some in our society that just think, oh well, they'll do it because they've always done it. But it'll get to a point where that community group, that litter picking group, will eventually not exist. Then what will happen? And that's, you know, for people in my generation, that's what we probably fear the most, is these groups have been working for the last 20, 30 years, disintegrating because there's no young people getting involved because they think, oh well, it's someone else's problem, I'd rather just sit on my backside watching Netflix, you know. Lazy people. We want people active in their communities. But you know, as I said before, is towns like Nuneaton have been on the decline because they haven't had active politicians. And I just thought, you know, I'll speak to one of our councillors newly elected, like we did before, but he's been here for a long time within our borough, and I just think it's important to talk about how Nuneaton has declined, hasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, definitely. Over my lifetime, Nuneaton has gone from a bustling town centre to what we see today. Nuneaton's got a lot to offer. There's a lot of great people in Nuneaton who work very hard and they've got a lot of energy for the place, but they go out of town because it's not got anything for them. So we really, I think the start of it for us is bringing it back to the town centre, actually having a town centre people want to go to, and that is going to need local authority to help businesses to coming into towns, but also the government to actually look at business rates and allow businesses to operate in the centre location, because if businesses come, then jobs are offered. And jobs obviously are good for everybody, but also then people in the town centres actually accessing a service, buying something, spending money, generating an atmosphere.
Common sense ideas, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely common sense. That's what Reform's full of. Anything from you, Charlie?
Right, George. And look, you know, to restore, I give and I give, George. But the best place to start attracting inward investment into towns like Nuneaton that you were just talking about and Pete was talking about is, you're absolutely right, cutting taxes, making sure that actually we don't have a chancellor that tells us that she's not going to raise national insurance contributions and then does to punish the employers, that tells us she's not going to raise taxes, then does it 2 years running. This is what's happening at a national level, but that trickles down. You know, so you'll have councils, I would argue Labour councils, that feel as though that they could repeat some of the stuff Rachel Reeves is doing to hit local communities, and councillors that hide behind closed doors, that does the complete opposite to what you seem to be doing and your team, out and about, taking direct action, leading the charge, cleaning up your streets, and making those small changes that make huge differences.
Yeah, you're on about Rachel Thieves? The one with the haircut like Richard III. I think she's been
How did you know?
Awful chancellor. It does look like it. You know, I love history. I was looking at all the kings and queens. I thought, oh my God, it's Richard III. Oh no, sorry, it was just the Daily Express with Rachel Reeves on the front. But you know, this Labour government has destroyed this country, and there is now only one shot. There's only one party that's got the momentum to change this country. We've got the people, we've got the backing, we've got good people in this party, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been out today, because from the bottom of my heart I know what it's like leading a council that is struggling. There are elements where national government are crippling councils because they know that Reform's in charge now, so they think, oh well, we'll just hurt them and hurt the residents, but we're trying as best as we can to make sure our councils are running as efficient as possible, and that's thanks to the councillors, the volunteers, the people that are doing this today. It just goes to show that as a team we can fix this country and we can do it together. We just have to wait to this next general election and we can get Nigel Farage in number 10.
George, sterling work there from Sunny Nunny. If it's so sunny, you can take that black fleece off and reveal that Reform, what I think is a Reform UK sweatshirt.
You want to undress me? Is that what you're trying to do?
Absolutely not. But thank you so much for that kind offer. George Finch, thank you. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much, George. You've done some great work this morning. Always delightful to talk to you. Keep leading the charge. George Finch there. Still joining me in the studio. I'm absolutely delighted, even more so than to talk to George, to talk to Ben Bradley. What did you make of what you've just heard from George there? He's absolutely right. And one of his activists there, Pete, I think his name was, that was talking about the struggle of towns and communities where they feel they've been taxed too much, where business rates are too high. I talked about national insurance rates being put up and taxes being put up by this Chancellor under this government. I mean, local government really struggles, local business struggles, local residents will struggle from the top. But what can local people do to really sort of turn about those fortunes?
Well, it's been challenging for a long time, hasn't it? People, Britain really is broken in the way that so many of our services just don't work. Local councils are not sustainable in terms of the financial situation and the way that so many services on a national level aren't set up right, aren't structured right. George touched on it there. And that really impacts on the work you can do to support your high streets, to support those local businesses. But all the way through the system, we can start at that local level as we run more and more councils to do things like get out and lead the way on action days like this, like we've heard earlier on about the public space protection orders that help tackle those behaviours and antisocial behaviour in those spaces, like we've heard about tackling massive solar farms across our agricultural, all sorts of things we've heard about today, where the more councils we run, the more Reform activists and representatives we can get out there in the country, the more we can do to start to reverse that trend. Richard Tice touched on, we can't just accept that this managed decline is inevitable forever. We've got to do something about it. And obviously that leads us into a general election, and then we can grab those national levers and do the same thing across the whole country.
Well, you're absolutely right. And we're seeing across our screens at the minute just the extent of litter that's impacting on the environment, impacting on local wildlife there. But from rivers that are completely flooded by litter, where you see, we saw Richard Tice with a shopping trolley earlier on. Usually you find these in some of the rivers, don't you? Where people have just, for no reason whatsoever, just because of sheer antisocial behaviour, have caused havoc and caused derelict and destruction to their local communities. So we do need, it feels, a real shift in mentality, a real shift in the way in which we do things in this country.
100%. It needs to be totally culturally unacceptable to do, doesn't it? We can't just allow it. And too many people, will walk past it and not say anything or do anything about it. It takes it right back to what we heard from Robert Jenrick earlier on about that personal responsibility, that family responsibility. And we've talked about, a community raising a child. Actually, it used to be that you would look out for people like that. You would stick your head out the window and say, oi, I know your mum and I know where you live and she's going to find out about this. We don't do that anymore. And the more we can bring that sense of togetherness and shared purpose back, I think the better.
Ben Bradley, thank you so much, as always. Hopefully more from you before we go. We'll see. But if you haven't already done so, you can download the Reform Go app. It's a fantastic place to keep up to date with everything that's happening at Reform, including upcoming events, information how to join Reform, and keep up to date with everything going on right across not just the country, but also in your borough or your county. Search Reform Go in the App Store now and hit download, and you can get all that information right at the touch of your fingertips. But we'll head right out across the country now. We're joining Annie May O'Neill, who is live from Ongar, Reform UK councillor on the Ongar Town Council, who's been taking part in today's community clean-up. Annie May, thank you so much for joining us. Just tell us, how's the day been going? How many local people have responded to today's campaign where you are?
Hello Charlie, and hello everyone watching this Reform Clean-Up Day. I'm out here with the amazing Epping Forest councillors in my wonderful division of Epping and Thaden Boys. It's been fantastic. Can I just say I'm so proud of each and every person coming out, whether they're Reform councillors, Reform members, or just people that care about their community. I can't believe how much rubbish we've got on our streets, and we need to clean it up.
Well, absolutely. You're doing a fantastic job there. I can see the two of you there. How many people have you had out this morning? And what's the response been like from local residents? Have people approached you, not just to talk about the litter picking, but have they approached you to talk about any other local issues?
We've had probably about 15, 16 councillors out. We've got so many people from Essex come up to us, report to us. It's like our own personal surgery, to be honest. It's fantastic. When people are coming up to us and saying, you know what, we've got this issue, we've got that issue, thank you for fixing it. I, in fact, had an amazing response by two young boys by saying, thank you so much. You're a God saviour being in Essex County Council. We needed you badly with reform. But do you know what we really need to do, Charlie? The next big clean-up day should be the general election.
You got that message in there. A few people have been saying it throughout the morning. They've been saying it throughout the show. It's time for a general election. But what's so striking about today? If we can get you back, onto your front, twist the camera around. You've gone you've slightly on your side. There you are. I think yes. If you
okay, there we are. Let's see if we can turn it.
The left, right.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
You're back on with us. You're back in.
Oh, it's
back
typical.
in your vertical position. You've gone slightly horizontal, but the one thing that hasn't gone. The one thing that hasn't gone sideways is the campaign today.
Yes.
So when you first became a councillor, when you decided that actually no, I'm going to step up to the plate, I'm going to do something for my local community. Did you envisage this being part of it, or was this the reason that you wanted to become a councillor? You know things have to change in your local area, and you're taking action.
Well, quite literally that. Being only 20 years old, being a county, district and town councillor, I knew somebody young needs to get into them offices, get into them chambers and change something. And by going out to the community, picking up litter, this is the area of my childhood. This is the area that we want to make clean. We want to bring back them enthusiasm from the community, because the community's lost that with the last administration. But luckily Reform's bringing it back, and we just can't get enough of it. I've been picking up litter all day. I've got my little grabber with me, and I'm going to be going till sunlight goes down, because do you know what? This is what we need. This is what the communities need. They need a Reform UK government, and this is what we're giving them in the Essex County Council administration.
What's in your bag? Very quickly, before we let you go, Annie, what's in your bag so far? What have you collected?
Should we give you a tour? We've got some McDonald's, we've got some beer cans, we've got some odd little things, to be completely honest with you. But you know what? This is what we're here for, to pick up everybody's rubbish.
You're absolutely right. I'll leave you to it, Annie May. Thank you so much for joining us this morning with you and all your volunteers there. Keep up the hard work.
Thank you.
No doubt see you soon. Thank you. That was Annie May there in Ongar, who is a district, county and town councillor, so very busy at the age of 20. Someone else who is very busy is Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, as you'd expect, who only last week travelled to Norfolk to back the party's candidate for Police and Crime Commissioner. Former Metropolitan Police Detective Colin Sutton says policing has been his life's work, and that he's ready to bring that experience to the role if elected. Here's what happened when Nigel Farage joined him on the campaign trail.
Well, thank you very much indeed, and good evening, everybody. I've come here today to talk about this by-election. I really can't think of a better qualified candidate to be Police and Crime Commissioner. I mean, this is the best-known living detective in the country. So I'm here today not just to support Colin Sutton, who I think is a splendid fellow and would actually shake policing up in this county. And he won't just be, if he wins, a Norfolk figure. He'll be a national figure.
Well, I spent about the last 2/3 of my career tripping over myself in meetings and remembering to say service. I've not got those shackles on me now. So I'll ask you, do we want a police service or a police force? We need to start doing the things that actually matter to the public. It's not a furtherance of any political ambition to stand for this role. It's not a stepping stone to something else. It's my life's work. I'm doing this because I believe in it, and this is the kind of culmination of it.
Are we going to support Colin Sutton and do our bit? Thank you very much indeed, everybody.
Well, today's cleanup, I should say, is about more than picking up litter. It's about asking how Britain got to this point and what can be done to restore pride in our communities. Well, throughout the morning, I've been joined by the delightful Ben Bradley, who heads up the local government delivery unit here at Reform UK. Just on that question, Ben, what have we got to do as a nation? It's not just about the litter picking and clearing off the signs on highways and motorways, or trimming the bushes and the hedgerows to make our communities feel and look pretty. What can we do to restore that sense of pride in our country that's been missing for so many years?
Well, the first thing I think that Reform are absolutely grabbing the mantle on is actually trying, right? It feels like so many people have just accepted this managed decline, successive governments kind of tweaking around the edges of stuff, and nobody really being prepared to accept that stuff isn't working. We've got to do something fundamentally different. It's great to see so many people out there today starting that work, right? And right on a very, very hyper-local level, taking some responsibility for a place. Even some of our fantastic young councillors, I mean, George and Annie May we've heard from, who's 20 years old, right? It's brilliant that we've got young people in our party out there really taking ownership of this stuff, and that grows and grows, all the way from picking up litter in the street to how we can kind of implement stuff at that council level. We've talked about all sorts of different aspects of that, from from the litter stuff to tackling antisocial behaviour, to investing in our highways and high streets. Even previous governments where they've tried to do this stuff, the levelling up fund that previous governments have come out with, chuck some money at some stuff and hope it will fix things, but it doesn't tackle any of the fundamental problems. So we've got to do this stuff differently, and it's great to see us doing that and taking real ownership of that on a local level. Annie May mentioned there, the next big clean-up day will be general election day. Hopefully it comes soon, and then we can do that across the whole country.
And you talked about, Annie May, she mentioned she was only 20 years old. Why is it that people of Annie's age, all ages, but Annie May in particular, and her cohort of young people, I hasten to add, young people, we're young too.
All relative.
All relative, but she's very young at 20, and doing some great stuff. Wanting to serve her local area and her communities. Why is it that people, do you think, young people in particular, are coming to Reform? Why are they not backing the two-party system? Why are they not going to the Labour Party? Why are not they sticking around to try and support the Conservative Party, change their fortunes around? What is it about Reform that you think have attracted them to go and do the kinds of things that Annie May and Jamie and all the other councillors that we've seen and activists across the country, why they're doing what they're doing today?
We are seeing it more and more. I think young people in particular are on the business end of why things don't work, right? So many young people leave school with no qualifications, struggle to afford to find somewhere to live, are struggling to get into work right now. Like, youth unemployment is through the roof, and successive governments have been quite happy to just kind of explain why that's okay and not really fundamentally try and tackle it. At the same time, we've had that decline in senses of community, partly because of maybe the kind of online world, social media, people more like this instead of talking to each other. Partly because of immigration and culture changes, and you used to know all your neighbours, and maybe that's not the case anymore. All these changes have happened at the same time, and it's those young people who are really facing those challenges that it's fantastic to see them say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it and come and get involved with Reform.
No, you're absolutely right. And from two young bucks here in the studio to another down the line joining us in Portsmouth, I'm absolutely delighted to see that we've got George Madgwick. Welcome to the programme. George, hello, how's it going where you are? Give us a flavour of what's happening. What have you collected? What's the reaction been like from local people? How many people have you got out campaigning with you today? Just give us a flavour about everything where you are in Portsmouth.
Sure. We've had a great day here in Portsmouth. We're in Paulsgrove at the Chalk Pit, which you see behind me, which is a brilliant heritage site. We're with a big team here of reformers. Hello, everyone. All of our councillors, campaigners, members. We found some really, really interesting stuff. We found the top of an oven. We found a bike. We found even a bra. So, yeah, lots and lots of bags. You can see about 20-odd bags of rubbish, and we're still going.
So 20 bags filled so far with all kinds of things that you've just listed there. Some very interesting items. I'm not sure that somebody will be coming back to collect them, but thank God that you have, because you don't want any of those items still lingering on our streets. How many more bags do you think you're going to do by the end of today?
A lot. Well, we're out for a couple of hours now. We're about to move on to the next location. We're going to go by the train line. So, yeah, we're hoping to collect 50, 60 bags by the end of the day. We've also found some canisters. We found some vapes. We found a lot of cans and stuff. So we're picking up some dangerous stuff as well to keep it off the streets.
Well, you've got a great group of volunteers I can see behind you. 50, 60 bags, that would be amazing. Send those pictures in, and I'm sure Reform UK will get them up online to see all the great work that you've been doing this morning and into the afternoon. We'll leave it there, George, because we're a bit short on time. But thank you so much. Keep working, keep getting to it, and no doubt we'll talk again soon. Great stuff going on there in Portsmouth. But now, let's check in with some of your pictures right across the country. Thank you to everyone who's been sharing their clean-up efforts so far using the hashtag #CleaningUpBritain. I mean, amazing stuff that we've seen already coming in. This is one from Hastings. Hastings, great group of volunteers there.
Looks lovely there, doesn't it? Look at the sunshine there.
Beautiful blue weather. Matching the hats. In fact, it's in Reform colours, isn't it? Almost, that skyline.
The world is on our side.
Brilliant stuff there in Hastings. Gresham, how fantastic. Look at all those bags there that have been collected.
Equally colour coordinated as well, we like that.
Very nice too. And now, are they? What are they wearing? Those T-shirts. They look. Are they Reform UK T-shirts, or have they made them themselves?
Have they ad-libbed their own T? I like that.
Fantastic
I'm
stuff.
all for it. I should buy these ones from our shop though.
Well, yes, we've got some brilliant branding here, which I'm no doubt will show before the end. Still Gravesham. Brilliant stuff. 2 campaigners there. Now, what are they holding there in their hands?
Oh, it's that laughing gas stuff, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Well, if you see, yes, you used to see quite a lot of that, but thank God that's being cleared up. Great stuff there. This bag was filled by the Gravesham reformers. We care about our community.
I love that as well.
Please treat Gravesham with respect. Really important stuff, actually. So people who are walking past, I mean, assuming these bags have now got to be collected by the council because they've got they're so
they'll
big.
come and grab them, yeah.
So to have people walking past that will see, okay, there's a load of bags here that have been clearly collected, but they know who it's been collected by. That's a really good touch there.
As
well
we said
done.
earlier, it's not just the litter, but actually, getting out and cleaning up the signage, getting out and sorting out we mentioned verges and hedges and all sorts of things, haven't we? That just brings that bit of sense of pride back.
Well, it sets a tone, doesn't it? If you're driving into those local areas, so if you're driving into Thedlethorpe, I think I've pronounced that right, or Saltfleet, you want it to be a welcoming experience. If you're going into an area that is sort of graffitied or is grungy or downtrodden, it just leaves an impression that you just don't want.
There's the famous shop we heard about earlier.
Yes.
I can't pretend I've had an oatcake, have you?
No, I haven't. No, I had a pan of chocolate earlier, and that's about it. A little snackette before this morning. That was Jonathan Gullis there and his team. Over to Redditch. Brilliant pictures there. Now, retrieving who uses an office
Where's that even
chair?
come from? Somebody's ridden it down a hill or something.
Maybe that's Rachel Reeves' office chair. Maybe she'll be out, but she won't need that desk very long, I don't suppose. But Redditch, well done. Over to Northampton. 2 great volunteers there.
They're on it. Everyone enjoying the sunshine as well. Good day for a tan.
Great day for a tan, great day for a litter pick. But the visibility, everybody is wearing, and not shy of wearing, it seems to me, Reform UK sweatshirts or high-vis jackets. So they want to be seen, you want to be visible so people know who it is that is cleaning up all of this litter.
On Waste Lane.
On Waste Lane. Brilliant stuff from the people in Coventry.
It's not Waste Lane anymore.
It's not, absolutely. Well, it was almost wasted on me, that line. I have to say, so great observations there. But a brilliant amount of work that's taken place throughout the day, hasn't it, Ben?
Absolutely. There were so many people, I reckon, across over 70 events around the country today. Close to 1,000 people from Reform, councillors, activists, out working really hard, and it will have some real visible results.
And before we leave everybody here and let them all get on with the great work they're doing, what's your final message to whether you're a councillor today for Reform, whether you're thinking about becoming councillor for Reform, or whether you just want to get involved with the party, whether you're an activist? What is the message from today to get those people involved and to get out and clean up Britain?
There's 2 things. I think the first is a massive, massive thank you to everybody who's been out there doing this today. I'd say probably close to 1,000 people today around the country, working really hard. And what that demonstrates to those people who aren't involved is there's a great team here to come and get involved in, right? We mentioned earlier, it's so important that we don't just accept this decline in our country, but that we do something about it. And Reform, as far as I can see, are the only people really taking that seriously. So if you're not happy that things don't work, if you're not happy that things are unfair, if you're not happy with the state of your places and your high streets and your communities, come and help us fix it. You can join the party, you can stand as a councillor. We'll no doubt have a general election at some point soon, and we'll need candidates for that too, so there's plenty of opportunities to come and get involved.
Get involved. And can we assure the chairman that you'll be getting involved in the next little bit?
The chairman will no doubt have me out shortly. He's out every single Saturday, and the party chairman, he's around the country all the time. He's out in Kirkby and Sutton in his constituency every Saturday on pothole patrol with his local members. He does a great job.
Pothole patrol. There we are. Ben Bradley, head of local government delivery here at Reform UK. Thank you so much for being my guest this afternoon, keeping me company. And thank you all to you, because that's all we've got time for on today's special programme. We've heard from volunteers, campaigners, councillors and communities right across the country, all united behind one simple idea, that everyone can play their part in taking pride in where they live. A huge thank you again to all of our guests here in the studio, Ben Bradley, everyone who joined us live from around the UK, and to the hundreds of volunteers who gave up their time today to make a difference. It all matters. And thank you to everyone who shared their photos and videos using hashtag Cleaning Up Britain. We've loved seeing your efforts, and if you haven't posted yours yet, keep them coming. We'll continue to follow the campaign online. That's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much again to everybody that's been with us and who's been getting out there. See you next time.